What's up, folks? So I know you might not realize, especially if you're just now watching this video, getting to know me kind of deal, but 3 years ago, scariest night of my life to this day, this Wednesday, today, 3 years back, I was in a horrible car accident. This dude literally ran a red light, T-boned my car. He was going so fast, my car just spun to the side. He went and T-boned another van, a van full of kids. The driver of that van ejected from the driver's seat, ended up flying out. That SUV that hit me, hit that van, they ended up skidding into an oncoming semi-truck. The driver of that van ended up being underneath that van, crazily enough. He ended up dying. I escaped with just bumps and bruises. It was insane. I got out of my car because I knew what had happened, but I didn't have time to react or feel sorry for myself. I ran over to the other car, to the whole pile up of bodies and craziness. I heard a baby crying. I'll never get that out of my head. I heard a baby crying, and I ran over there and slid down on the ground and looked underneath that van, and there was blood coming down off this baby's face, and it was just wailing away. It's things you don't get out of your head. That's things you just don't stop thinking about ever. I saw like a little teenage girl just like reaching out, kind of like help me. There's not a lot you can do about that. And there was a bigger lady in the back. I wasn't really saying anything. I walked around the van, really ran around the van. Saw the driver. I didn't know who he was at the time, but I saw the driver, and he was underneath the van, and his eyes were rolling back in his head, and he was lifeless. And I mean, he ended up dying. So that was the closest I'd ever seen to a dead body. I went over to the SUV, the one that actually caused this accident. I looked in the window, and I personally thought he was dead, because it didn't look like he was wearing a seatbelt. And he flew up and hit the other windshield, like the passenger side windshield, and then he was laying there in the passenger seat, like where your feet are normally is. That's where he was. He was pressed all up against that like a tuna can. And I mean, I was just crying, and I was just praying, and I was delirious. Thankfully, my boy Tyler, BFF, he came and he picked me up, and he ended up taking me home. I refused all ambulance stuff. It was a very interesting part of my life. I ended up getting screwed out of all that. Like, they gave me like $900 and said, there you go. And I'm like, dude, I had to miss work. I lost my car. Everything got screwed. I felt cheated. And most of the people in that wreck, even the girl that was reaching out to me, everybody in that wreck, when it really comes down to it, they got screwed, because there was a little bit of money that had to be distributed through everybody. And obviously I only got a little tidbit of that, because I mean, I didn't really get hurt that badly, thank God. But even the ones that did, they got screwed. I'm telling you all of this because, for one, I still deal with this. I still deal with this almost like in a post-traumatic stress situation. Because sometimes we go through something so drastic, so crazy, it affects the rest of our lives. And it literally brings tears to the surface just talking about this, because to this day, it scares me, it affects me, it brings on anxiety, it brings on terror, it brings on panic to go through intersections, yet alone that intersection. I've only gone through it one time since then, and that's 3 years ago, and that's a main strip in Worcester. I mean, it shut the town down when that happened. Something you'll never forget, and it's something I live with, and it's something I want gone, but there's really nothing I can do with it. So the only thing I can do with it is suck it up and try to be better from it. What do you mean by that, Keith? I didn't do anything wrong, but how can you be better from it? I could have been so angry, so ticked at that dude that hit me, and I still don't know why. I still truly do not know why he ran that red light. And I mean, he only ended up getting like 30 days probation and had to pay a fine for killing a man. For killing a man and injuring 6 others. And traumatizing 6 others, to be dead honest with you. And the ripple effect that had on this community, that had on every family involved, and it has on me to this day, 3 years later to today, is insane. I could bottle up all that hatred and just disgust, and I could just, what? I could what? I'm choosing to move on. I'm choosing to try to move on. I'm choosing to forgive that man for a horrible mistake he made. Whatever happened, it happened, and I can't stop it. I also can't stop the traumatic dreams and the panic and the fear that I have going through an intersection, yet alone just driving at night. Can't stop that either. I pray every day and I want it gone. But I choose to forgive him. You see, we go through hard things. And we got people in our lives that screw us over, literally, that steal from us, that hurt us, that seek to destroy us. Forgive them. Why forgive them? Because holding that hatred, holding that anger, holding that disgust, holding that is literally like holding fire. And if you hold fire, you're going to get burned. It's not going to affect that person at all. If they hurt you on purpose, or even if they hurt you by accident, you holding that is only hurting you. And somewhere deep in here, we think that that's fulfilling us. We think that that is doing something to them. We think it's the right thing to do, and it's not. People mess up. People blatantly make mistakes. People unfortunately make mistakes. People do exactly what people do because people suck and people are stupid when it really comes down to it. Forgive them. I know this is a fitness channel, but if you're not working out your heart, what are you doing? There's people that are racist. I could tell you stories upon stories. There are people that will discriminate against you. There are people that will look over you. There are people that will treat you differently just because of the color of your skin, by your gender, how fat you are, how skinny you are, how tall you are, how short you are. Somebody will always judge you wrongfully. It's going to happen. Show them, show the situation that you are bigger than this, that you are bigger than that, and that you are better than that because you are amazing. Show the situation, show these people, show whoever is watching you that you will not only overcome, but that you will be an example, and that you will walk with your head held high, and that you will be something greater than what this world wants you to be. Because this world wants you to be angry. This world wants you to remain pissed. This world will trick you into thinking that by you not forgiving that person, by you holding that in, you are just in that, and you can hold your ground in that. Get over it. We're not slaves anymore. Not literally slaves on a boat, but we technically aren't. We're not slaves to that fear. We're not slaves to that anger. We're not slaves to that feeling. We're not slaves to this world. Rise up, beloved, and be better than that. That's why I'm telling you this story. Because this is something I got to carry around every single day. This is something I got to deal with every single day. And do I want to? Heck no. But I choose to move on. I choose to walk in freedom, even though it's nipping at my heels every day. I choose to be better than what anything this world wants me to be. And I pray and I hope and I challenge you to do the same thing. Let's go. Share this video, like and subscribe. This is Woo!